Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we're diving straight into a fantastic mathematical quest at Sunnyville Market. We're teaming up with two seriously energetic helpers, Pip, a very curious little brown bear, and Penny, a quick-witted red squirrel. We're going to see exactly how they tackle some foundational, real-world concepts of measurement and ordering. Let's get right into it.
Here is Mr. Baker's quest map for us today. First up, the grocery store mission. Second, sorting by size. Third, measuring height and width. Fourth, we'll tackle weight and capacity puzzles. And finally, earning the golden cart badge.
Section 1. The grocery store mission.
Okay, so take a look at their day. At 8 a.m. sharp, Mr. Baker hands them their assignment, organizing the entire front display table before the morning rush hits. Now, if you notice that 12 p.m. milestone, well, all that hard puzzle-solving work is properly incentivized with a well-deserved peanut butter cookie and cold milk break. Absolutely crucial. Then, at 4 p.m., it's time for the grand finale inspection.
Section 2. Sorting by size.
Right out of the gate, Pip and Penny are faced with these wooden crates of fresh orchard apples, just mixed up everywhere on the floor. So how would you line up a totally mixed-up pile from smallest to largest? Well, for Penny, the strategy is a no-brainer. She whips out her yellow measuring tape to find the absolute tiniest baby apple first, just to anchor the whole sequence.
And here's how they actually build it on the wooden shelf. Step 1, they find a tiny crabapple hiding underneath the table, literally the size of a marble. Step 2 is a small green snacking apple. Then, Step 3, a medium red Honeycrisp. Step 4 is a large golden delicious. And they cap the whole thing off with Step 5, this absolutely gigantic prize-winning mammoth apple. It creates this perfect, logical slope.
But wait, right after they finish that, Mr. Baker rolls out a wheelbarrow full of farm-fresh root vegetables and completely flips the rule on them. He wants the carrots sorted from largest to smallest, a backwards line. Pip just enthusiastically digs right in and pulls out this thick, monster carrot that's literally as long as his own furry arm. They put that absolute giant right at the front and then carefully measure everything side by side until they end up with a short, stubby baby carrot at the very end.
Section 3. Measuring height and width.
Now we're moving over to the bakery aisle. By checking against a wooden ruler painted right on the wall, they can easily figure out the height of the bread loaves. They arrange them step by step, starting with a squishy dinner roll that sits super low to the ground, stepping up to a golden sourdough round, and finally reaching a towering French baguette standing straight up in its basket.
I love this. Pip comes up with a brilliant visual analogy here. He says, ordering quantities is like building a staircase with food. And he hit the nail on the head. By lining things up by their vertical height, you are quite literally building steps, which makes the whole concept of height sequencing incredibly intuitive.
Over in the breakfast aisle, things get a bit tricky. They're staring down a leaning tower of colorful cardboard cereal boxes stacked completely haphazardly on a metal cart. But we aren't measuring height this time. Pip suggests sorting by width. And width is simply how fat a box is from side to side. So they have to inspect the side profiles of every single box to get this right.
Here's the smooth transition they end up creating. They pull the boxes down, starting with the skinniest, a single-serving oatmeal packet that's as thin as a notebook. Then they move through an oat ring box, a chocolate flake box, and a Fruit Loop box. Finally, they hit the widest of them all, this giant family-sized corn puff box that actually takes two whole hands to hold. Like Penny points out, they transition from thin as a cracker to wide as a book.
Section 4. Weight and capacity puzzles. All right, first up in this section are the watermelons, which need to be ordered from lightest to heaviest. On the left side, Pip and Penny start with a baby personal melon. It feels about as light as a textbook. But on the far right, man, Pip tries to lift the giant championship melon, and it weighs as much as a bicycle. The difference between featherlight and heavy duty is completely obvious once they feel the weight in their paws and double-check it on the metal scale.
Next up, the dairy aisle throws a really unique challenge their way. Our duo is standing in front of stacks of egg cartons, all different shapes and sizes. And this brings up a fascinating question. How exactly do we order things when they look different on the outside, but actually hold things on the inside? Because up until now, remember, they've only relied on outside measurements.
Well, the magic word here is capacity. Capacity is simply how many items fit inside something. To discover the true mathematical order of these cartons, they can't just judge the cardboard on the outside. They actually have to pop them open and count the little paper cups inside. And counting those specific capacities reveals the real sequence, from smallest to largest. It kicks off at 4 for the tiny quail eggs. Then it bumps up to 6 for duck eggs, 12 for your standard chicken egg carton, 15 for a baker's dozen, and all the way up to a massive jumbo flat holding 30 whole eggs. So you see, counting what fits inside is what reveals the true order.
Section 5. The Golden Cart Badge.
Looking back at their quest today, it is amazing how much ground they covered. Seriously, think about it. They sorted apples from smallest to largest. They measured bread from shortest to tallest. They ordered cereal from skinniest to widest, weighed watermelons from lightest to heaviest, and finally, they counted egg carton capacity from smallest to largest. And because they totally conquered every single mathematical sorting rule, Mr. Baker proudly awards both of them the official, shiny Sunnyvale Golden Shopping Cart Badge.
Which brings us to a truly inspiring realization from Penny. As they're skipping out of the market, proudly wearing their new badges, she asks, when you know how qualities work, what else in the whole wide world becomes an amazing, fun puzzle to solve? And she's so right. Whether you're looking at piles of autumn leaves in the park, stacks of library books, or just trying to organize your own kitchen pantry, everything around us can be understood through measurement. It really changes how you see the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep measuring, keep sorting, and I will see you on the next one.